All right, it is Wednesday. We're back in the studio for another episode of WIM Speaks Radio, produced by the #1 Global Sisterhood for Women in Media. Yes, we are Women in Media Global, and I am your host, DP Jeter, holding it down for us. Thank you to everybody who continues to tune into our show. You can catch us live every single Wednesday on excitementradio.com, bringing you inspiring and entertaining episodes featuring women's stories, informative topics, and really all things Women in Media Global. Our mission on this show is to inspire you to live your best life and for you to make a positive impact in the world. This week we have a in-studio guest with us, and we're excited about having our money coach here because it is April, and April is Financial Literacy Month. I don't know if you all knew that, but as we round up Financial Literacy Month, we had to come to you with some great information to make sure that your coins are lined up right and that you're really thinking about your financial future. This is a really great show and topic for us, especially all of our WIM sisters out there, because we actually have a program called WIM Wellness, and that is really investing in the woman outside of her profession. Mind, body, spirit, soul, but also financial health. And so we have an opportunity through this particular wellness program to invest in women and bring them topics and information to ensure that they are their best selves when they show up in the studio, running their shows, directing, running their companies, in front of the camera, behind the scenes, and making things happen. We know that in the world of media and entertainment, there is a burnout that sometimes women experience because our industry is fast-paced. It's a hustle. You got to get things done. It is a very deadline-driven industry. And sometimes we can forget about self. And that is why this is such a big initiative for us here at Women in Media Global, because we don't want you to experience that. We want you to be mindful of whatever balance you can create in your life, that we can assist you in bringing you information and making that happen. So without further ado, I would love to welcome my guest onto the show and introduce her to you all. She really needs no introduction, but we love to give people their roses and their flowers while they are here. And so everybody gets an amazing introduction on the WIM Speaks Show. So today our guest is Dr. Nicole Garner Scott. And before I go into her bio, I really want to talk about my personal introduction to Nicole and how I first learned about her work as a student at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. And now we're in Miami, but back then, I was really, really a fan of Nicole's work and really impressed by what she was doing with the Garner Circle, the Garner PR Circle. And so I was graduating school and I was considering starting a business because it was 2010 and there was a recession going on, and I knew that there was an opportunity that I could not have a job after paying for college and going through this 4-year amazing institution at Spelman. And so one of the people that I really wanted to intern for was the Garner Circle PR with Nicole Garner. I mean, if you are on the scene in Atlanta and you are really in the know of what's happening, then you've really heard her name. You know this woman in business and all of the success and the opportunities that she has brought to Atlanta. But when I was getting to know her brand, it was local to Atlanta. But now she's a national, just amazing, unstoppable woman. And so we're excited to have her. And just, we both ended up here in Florida and we were able to connect here. And it has been just awesome just seeing all of the growth and the amazing work that she's doing, not only in PR, but now as a money coach. Dr. Nicole Garner Scott is a sought-after money coach, certified financial educator, speaker, author, and serial entrepreneur. Nicole received her undergraduate degree from Georgia State University. And I always thought that Nicole went to a HBCU. I kind of just claimed that, being from the city of Atlanta.
When you grew up in Atlanta, it's all a HBCU.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she went to a HBCU. I just assumed. Her MBA is actually in digital entrepreneurship and an awarded and honorary doctorate recognized for her work in business. Now, that is boss. She is a mother and a wife, and her little son is here in the studio with us as well. This native ATLian is a TEDx speaker and has been recognized for her entrepreneurial innovation by the White House under the Obama administration, as well as receiving the Memorial Phoenix Award, which is the highest award bestowed by the city of Atlanta. Nicole has created a socially conscious digital empire that touches millions. Her work as the founder of Amount Financial Services is her contribution to combat the societal constructs that financially limit communities of color, and she has also launched an initiative titled Breathe in Money to foster abundance, flow, yoga, and meditation. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you. I felt like that was a tongue twister.
It's a great read, and it's really good for people to know, like, all of the amazing things that you've done. The Obama administration, honored by the city of Atlanta, an honorary doctorate degree.
Thank you.
Like, I feel like I'm looking at my goals in you, because those are some of my goals.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you for just creating so much more space. Like, you have been a visionary in your space, and now you're bringing it to radio. You have it in social. You have it in person and touch points events. So thank you for what you're doing.
It's an honor, and it's women like you who have paved the way, who lead by example and gives us inspiration as we continue to move forward with our vision. So it's an even exchange.
Thank you.
So welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. And to kick things off, tell us a little bit about your journey to financial wellness and holistic planning.
Okay, so I guess we'll just jump right on in. Best way to do it. I did not necessarily come from a family that discussed money a lot. And when I was young, I knew I needed money. I knew it took money to make the world go round. And I had my own entrepreneurial initiatives that started very young, because I knew I was like, I need more money. I can't keep asking for, every dollar that I need. So I was the candy lady in the neighborhood. I had the lemonade stand, all those different things. But I really do thank my parents. I really do thank my parents for seeing that ambitious side of me and steering it in the right way. So I always tell people, when you see kids that get excited about money, start to foster that, start to create that in a way that is nourishing to them and to their development, because there'll start to be so many distractions, right? Like, money can go left and money can go right. Money can go up and money can go down. And so as a child, you need some understanding of that, and you need a deeper reason why, as to why you need your money, someone to help you cultivate that deeper flow. So went to college, and it was one spring break. I went home with my roommate, and got exposed at a whole nother level. She never talked about how wealthy she was. We always thought she was like from the block, like how we were. And I remember going home with her, and we pulled up to her house, and I was like, what? Like, whose mansion is this? Gates and staff and everything else. And I remember going into her house. I mean, it was impressive just to see, being 18, 19 years old. But it was going into her house and the conversations the family was having. They were talking about the family business. How was she preparing herself to take over? Did she feel like she was learning what she needed to do? They were talking about updating the family will. They were talking about their trust. And even when we were getting ready to leave, they were like, make sure before you guys head back out that you stop by and see the family wealth manager. So it was all these talks. Everyone was talking about money so freely. Goals, decisions, journeys, just really tapping into it. And I was like, you know what? Not only do we not talk about money, in my home or in my world, but I actually don't even know some of this terminology, right? And do I have a trust? I don't know. Like my parents had never mentioned that to me,
Right.
And do we have a wealth manager? I mean, I come to find out, no, but back then, but I didn't even know these things, and I started to realize I didn't know what I didn't know. And so on our way back, she was like, "Why are you so quiet in the car?" And I just really started to realize, whoa, there's so much when it comes to the financial space that I have not been exposed to.
And what age were you?
About 18, 19.
Okay.
Yep, this was beginning of college. And so I knew money as a form of spending. And I knew money as a form of transactional. But I did not know money as a tool, and I did not know the language of money. And I definitely did not know the levels of money. So I came back and just really submerged myself in this. I really started to submerge myself in the different spaces. So along with starting my entrepreneurial journey, when I started my PR agency, at the same time, I was just educating myself and putting myself in spaces and places around people who could teach me so much more. And then I started to realize, like, life doesn't have to be this hard. I don't have to have such a negative relationship with money. Just a lot of those different things. So I had some great mentors in the business and financial space that really helped guide and direct me. I graduated college with no debt. But that
Was that scholarships?
It was a mixture of scholarships. It was
Okay.
a mixture of entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started your first business?
So it was my last year of college when I started the Garner Circle PR. So that's why I even tell people back then when people thought I was like this big entity, I had just graduated myself not that long ago. And I was trying to figure it out as I was going too. So,
Yeah.
So yes, in college, my first internship became my first client. And so in the midst of that, I was just really tuned into learning money. And then I had to really learn money from a business perspective. Right?
Yeah,
I started
yep.
to realize I didn't know cash flow.
Yep.
I had to concentrate on revenue generating activity and, just a lot of things very
Yep.
young in life.
And then when you start to bring on staff members.
Yes.
And that whole side of things.
Understanding the IRS has no friends and plays no games. Understanding the importance of a great accountant. Understanding that you have to know your own numbers. Like so many of us grew up like I don't do numbers or math is not my thing or those types of things. But we've seen so many people. You've seen the stories on whatever network that you watch where people trusted all of their finances to the direction of someone else. So it was just what Kevin Hart was just talking about, it, how one of the financial people on his team was skimming like a couple thousand a month off the top and it
Wow.
ended up generating $1 million. And he just felt so hurt that this was happening. But it just goes to show you have to
be aware.
Yeah, you have to look. You have to the same that people do illegal where they always say you gotta hire a lawyer to watch your lawyer. The same with finances. You gotta go back through the numbers yourself. Make sure that you have checks and balances. Make sure things look the way they need to. And so as far as my money journey, that was me working on myself and then bringing that back to my own family. That was my initial goal. So like, let me get my family in a better space. I'm the oldest child, so I knew, like, I felt like this was kind of what I was born to do, to help change a lot of the financial narrative in my family.
It's almost as if, breaking generational curses, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Somebody has to do it.
And then as I got older, being in Atlanta, being in the entrepreneur space for so long, I started to do a lot of events for women entrepreneurs, and I even opened up a co-working space in Atlanta and really got a chance to sit down with a lot of women. Like I was really, even though social media is continuously growing, I love those years because I got to touch people.
Yeah.
Like, just sit down and hear stories and hear what they were going through. And I remember all these people coming to me just very sad about their businesses. And, that's when it was, people were being shamed for having jobs. So everybody quit their jobs. And I took the entrepreneurial. People would be like, I took the leap of faith with no plan, and
with no plan,
with no plan, and
especially no financial plan.
Exactly, no plan whatsoever. And they were coming to me wanting PR, and I was like, wait, like PR is not going to save this. Like by the time you're getting ready to get evicted, PR is not going to save it.
Yeah,
right. Or by the time you're getting ready to get put out of your boutique, or you put your house up to finance your dreams, and now you're about to lose your house. There's no article or no placement on radio or anything like that that's going to save this. It's too far gone. And so I just started really sitting with myself and saying, how do I have a greater impact in the world? Like,
wow, that's awesome.
Like I've been afforded a platform and have the trust of so many women around me.
Yep.
And what am I supposed to be doing that's greater?
Yeah.
Like,
and this is how you feel.
Correct.
About your greater.
Yeah. Like, how can I help change the trajectory of where people were going? Because I feel like I was one of those people that was out there preaching entrepreneurship, but these businesses were closing back down after a year. And on top of that, people were coming with tremendous debt from, these things. And so I was like, we just got to start back from the beginning.
I wish that when I started my company, I was a senior too in college at Spelman, and I wish that I knew other ways to fund the business besides bootstrapping it.
Yeah.
And that is recent information for me.
Yeah.
So when I have the opportunity to tell other startups and those who are thinking about launching a new company that you have options. You don't necessarily have to bootstrap it. You have angel investors, you have VCs, you have crowdfunding.
Right.
And I don't know if crowdfunding was around back in 2009, but that was something that I did not know about.
It was, but our community just wasn't as open to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was a time where it was like, why am I going to give you money to start your business and I got to start my business? Or why am I give you money to, and the generations in your family didn't even believe in entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So even when I first started in the world of entrepreneurship, some members in my family would be like, well, when are you going to get a real job? So they're definitely not investing in that.
Yeah.
So that just was a whole other mindset. You guys get to see me being a working mom because my son is like,
nobody mad at that these days. Look, he got his bag on. I think he's ready to go. He gave you the mask. he said, "We're done here."
No. He's enjoyed it. He's just moving around.
He got his bag on. So for those who may not be aware, what does holistic financial planning mean?
Okay, so it covers every area from mindset to spirit to health to understanding all the different areas of wealth building and how that manifests into generational wealth, how that ties into your legacy planning. So I feel like people feel like money is this one silo that sits alone by itself, and if you just have discipline and you just do these different things, then your money will find its way. But how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're not good mentally, your money's off. If you're not good as far as your health, then you're spending astronomical amounts of money on healthcare and pills and those different things. If your mindset is not in the right space, you're spending money on trying to fulfill that void, whatever that void is. If you have trauma that you've brought from your childhood, then you're going to, I have one client who to exchange money is how she feels like she's loved. Right? Like that's how
what does that mean?
She feels like if someone gives her money, that means they love her. If she gives money, that's how she loves them. And so there's no amount of discipline or financial coaching or anything else until we get to the root of that part right.
So is that like a good thing? Is that an okay thing? Is that like
I think you have to be aware of it.
Okay.
Right. And you can start to not be so emotionally connected to money. And that's really boils down to you understanding that money is just a tool.
I was literally about to say that.
I feel like so many people give money way too much credit. Right? we humanize money.
Yeah.
We spiritualize money. We fortify it into a level of it's the end all be all, or that it has all this power, over us, and that
And it gives you more worth.
yeah, and you tie your value into
To
it.
it,
You tie
yep.
your happiness into it. You tie love into it, and that was never the purpose of money, right? And so if you understand that money is just a representation of energy, that currency is energy, and it's an exchange of value proposition, then you're able to free yourself and just put yourself in a different space. So I love taking a holistic approach to money.
And that's and is that a part of what you provide
Correct.
and teach with your
Yes.
money coaching?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Along with other financial services too.
Okay.
But that's pretty much where we start.
You got to heal your relationship
Yes.
with money in order
Yes.
for us to grow
Correct.
these goals, these legacy goals.
Yes. So let's take an example of I always go back to food, fitness, because that's been a big part of my overall journey too. But if you're an emotional eater, right? Like I was an emotional eater for quite a while. If you're an emotional eater, then there's no amount of push-ups, running, or anything else that will combat what's going on inside of your mind. And so I really get upset when people are like, you just got to have discipline. And, I pulled myself up by the bootstraps and you could do it too. And it's like, how can you look at another human being as so one-dimensional like that? There's so many other layers to that. And so, seeing it from that is just very powerful to me.
So on Saturday, I had the awesome opportunity to do yoga on the beach with you, Breathe in Money. And I absolutely loved the experience. It was my first time doing yoga on the beach.
Yay.
And I think you did an awesome job with your meetup.
Thank you.
So is this a part of your healing that you provide?
Correct.
Okay.
So Breathe in Money is a part. It's an offering under Amount Financial. But what I tend to find with a lot of people is if your energy is not right, if you have a lot of money blocks, energy blocks inside of you, all the other stuff that I do, like the legacy planning, encouraging you to do your will, helping you build your portfolio, all of that stuff is just null and void until we can, get into that good space. And so for me,
never even thought about that.
Yes. I did a interview with Essence magazine not too long ago where I talked about how burnout especially for Black women is one of the biggest leaks of money for us, right? So when you're burned out, you spend. And that's typically when you make some of your worst financial decisions.
So when you're burnt out from maybe work, home responsibilities, you then just spend money on
trying to rectify that. Right.
Okay.
So you leave work, you hate your job, you're burned out, your kids get on your nerves, your husband, he's tripping, all these different things. Then you're like, I'm just going to book a trip and get away from everybody. But you did not plan for the trip. You did not save for that trip. You did not try to find the best deals on that trip, anything. You just emotionally were like, I need out. Right. Or you decide to go to happy hour every day after work and way overspend because you're trying to escape the burnout or you're trying to escape, some of those different things. So when you have that peace inside of you, when you're aligned in that space, you make good decisions overall and you really can tap into your financial gut, right? So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
tell people that abundance is flowing all around you, right? There are so many people that have gotten so rich during this time, during the pandemic.
And that was my intention on Saturday when you asked us to set our intention. And I said, I want I want to be in a space of abundance.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Not really connecting and knowing how intimate those relationships are, but
Right.
it sounds like I was just spiritually in the right place.
Yeah. And so, I'll say this last part. When you are out of alignment, then money is just all the opportunities for money look like obstacles to you, right? So,
Oh my gosh.
when you walk,
You gotta
out
leave. You are giving a word.
when you walk out the door, right, and money's flying around you, and you're not in a good space, then all you see is how you can't touch it.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But when you're in a space of alignment, you're like, okay, I see that there seems to be a surge in homemade cupcakes right now. I make cupcakes. My friend has a commercial kitchen that I can use. My aunt just got laid off too, and she loves making cupcakes as well. And your financial
creating
gut is telling you all the ways to get
creative
out of
solutions.
out of your financial bind. But if you're vibrating low and all you can see is just the obstacles, you're like, well, I don't have any money. Who's going to help me? Who's going to buy the cupcakes? Actually, my cupcakes probably not even all that good. Everybody makes cupcakes. You see all the obstacles around you, and you can't dig yourself out that hole. So breathing money is an opportunity to unite yoga and meditation, and helping you just align back up with abundance energy.
This is such a great episode for WIM Speaks Radio. It is speaking to our program and just our core mission of wellness in such a unique way that I have not seen anybody else bring it together like this.
Thank you.
You know, a lot of, you're welcome, wellness and yoga. It's more the physical and the mental, but then bringing in that financial conversation is just like, I feel like you're connecting a lot of dots for me that I didn't know. And this is recent. You know, this is me recently figuring things out.
Yeah.
You know. And
it'll be a lifelong journey, too. Like, every time I'm like, oh, I got it. Then I turn around, I'm like, oh, that's a whole nother thing I need to understand.
Life is amazing.
Yeah, about that. So I would say that I'm a forever student, you know, in this entire space. And when you remain a student, it just makes life more interesting.
I hope that you will be able to come back onto the show. I know that we don't have much more time with you, but I do have one last question before you tell everybody how they can support Amount Financial Services and all of your social handles and things.
Yes. You can go to amountfinancial.com. That's AMOUNT financial.com. You can also go to NicoleGarnerScott.com, and that's how you can learn. I am a serial entrepreneur, and that's how you can learn about everything that I have going on. And you can follow on social media at Dr. Garner Scott, DRGARN as in Nancy ER Scott. And plug in, join our mobile update list, join our newsletter, just learn about all the different things we have going on. I'm a creative at heart, so I'm always figuring out new ways to get this money gospel out, and, you know, in ways that aren't boring or stuffy or going over people's heads.
That's awesome. I have to make sure that I sign up for the text alerts. Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're speaking to me. I'm in my 20s and my 30s, and I'm just starting out with like my financial fitness. What is something that I should know like right now?
Something you should know right now is you really need to have your foundation in order, right? So we're in a recession, right? And if you're young, if you're in your 20s, this might be your first recession. If you're in your 30s or up, this is not new at the rodeo, right? That we've been through 2011, we've been through the financial crashes, etc. And if you're even older than that, then you've probably been through 3 or 4. So that's the way the market works, though. You're going to have peaks and you'll have recessions. This won't be your last one. So having your foundation in order, having your emergency fund in place, starting to do that healing on financial trauma that you have, understanding how to make your money work for you. Those are things that are very, very important. But one of the most important things is while you're young, you're in your 20s, compound interest is your biggest friend, right? That's your advantage, time. And so you have the chance to really see compound interest matriculate at its highest level than someone who becomes financially savvy at 40 or 50. So in ways that you can start to let compound interest work on your behalf at that age is a very beautiful thing.
All right. I know y'all were feeling that. That was the Dr. Nicole Garner Scott from Amount Financial Services. I really learned a lot listening to her talking about healing our relationship with money and what that looks like from a holistic standpoint. I really am excited about the work that she's doing because it's extremely unique and it's so necessary. On my journey to financial wealth and financial healing and financial health, I did begin to hear a lot of experts talk about first, before you can actually start your wealth building process and invest in different things and be successful in that particular activity, you have to heal some things, some negative feelings and toxic thoughts and reactions that we have to money. And it makes so much sense now, even for me in periods of my entrepreneurship and in my endeavors. Y'all know I've been a full-time entrepreneur since the age of 19. So I've had seasons of high and low, peaks and valleys of when cash flow was good and cash flow was not good. And I remember specifically when cash flow was not good, it was almost as if like she said, I was disconnected somewhere. I was vibrating at a low place. I was not my holistic well self. And that makes a lot of sense. And I think that investing in our routines and encouraging ourselves through affirmations, doing our yoga, meditations, our working out, and emotionally healing ourselves through therapy, all of these things will bring more abundance into your life. And my intention when I went to yoga, I set my intention on abundance, not knowing why, but spiritually I was connected. And so I'm so grateful to be in connection with Dr. Nicole Garner Scott and to have her support of Women in Media Global. We look forward to furthering the relationship and showing up again for Breathe in Money. That takes place once a month at the Fort Lauderdale Beach, where she resides with her family. And it's just a very beautiful and serene opportunity to be at the ocean. I really applaud Dr. Nicole Garner Scott because every time I see her, she is a mom, she's a wife, she's a serial entrepreneur, she is a community leader. She always has a very calm energy, very calm, collected energy about her. And, you know, I'm like, how does she do it all? How does she maintain such great rapport and not go crazy with all of these responsibilities that is due to her? And so when she gets back onto the show, I'm for sure going to ask her that question because I'm curious. One is curious. I am still a young woman learning and making things happen. I am not a mom. So that part of the womanhood journey is not one that I've experienced just of yet. And so I'm always curious to see how moms do it. And they do it oh so well. I know Mother's Day is coming up. So shout outs to all the moms out there. Y'all are amazing. You are co-creators with God, bringing forth life and birthing just beautiful children, beautiful change makers and creatures that are going to inspire and change the world. So we love you. We see you. You are not forgotten about. I know Mother's Day is about 2 weeks away, but understand, you know, it's something about celebrating women all the time. And we're here for it. You know, Women in Media is all about the women's movement. We are womanhood. We are here for all women, you know, no matter the ethnicity, the background, the location. We are Women in Media Global. And there's some issues, there's some experiences as women that connects us all, no matter age, creed, location, ethnicity. There is always something that connects us all. And so You can find connection, sisterhood, support, and resources here at Women in Media Global. Make sure that you join our membership and that you download our mobile app and that you stay connected with us so that you have a community of women who are thriving, cheering you on, and really supporting you, along your way as you are building your own media empire. I am a media mogul and so are you. This episode was absolutely empowering. It was super dynamic. I hope that you gained a lot from what we had to share with you today about leveling up in your finances. This is the WIM Speaks Show. We provide informative talk topics about media, entertainment, business, womanhood, and how women are affected by it. Here at Women in Media, we encourage you to own your voice and make a difference in the world. We empower, equip, and encourage women to own your voices. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure that you come back next Wednesday for another episode of WIM Speaks Radio. I am your host, DP Jeter, on air from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock every single week. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at DPJeter_. Go ahead and show your girl some love. Join my YouTube channel, Danielle Page Jeter, and make sure you're checking out our website at womeninmediaglobal.org. We're also on Instagram at WIM Global, and you can like us on Facebook, WIM Global Org. Oh, and you can also like us and follow us on LinkedIn, Women in Media Global. This is Women in Media, and we have spoken. Until next time, peace.